every year we come back with business that is more than pays off whatever expense we had coming here.
This Marquee Dragon video is sponsored by Shattered Crystal, game codes, and items.
Hello, I'm Marcus Eichenberry from MarqueeDragon.com, and I'm at the Login Conference here with Peter Freese.
Hi.
Peter Freese has a really cool title here at the conference. You're like director or something like that.
Right.
What does that actually mean?
I'm the conference director, and there's a lot of work that goes into creating the conference. What my job is really responsibility for all the content at the conference. So I work with all the speakers, all the sessions, and sort of set the direction for what kind of topics we want to cover this, each year. Even down to the little details of, how do we schedule all the sessions. So.
Yeah, I would imagine there's a method to the madness, and
there's a lot of things I consider, and sometimes you might say, why is this here and this here? And we actually try to create things, a lot of balance in various ways. Balance in terms of, do we have topics that programmers would be interested in, topics that biz dev people would be interested in, so we don't try and weigh it too heavily in one direction. We actually want to have a good mix of people here at the conference, because my belief is, if you just have a bunch of biz dev people showing up, they're just going to talk to each other and don't really have, they don't get to make the right kind of connections with the things you want to do to create new opportunities, which is, when this programmer talks to this person who's an angel investor kind of thing. And so we try and get a mix of different people, and so we try to set up sessions that will interest all these different groups. And we also, even down to the scheduling, so I kind of make sure that if we, these sessions seem like they might be of interest to the same kind of person, let's not schedule them at the same time.
So one thing I've noticed about this conference is that it's the highest concentration of decision makers in the industry. And there may be more decision makers at some other conferences where there are thousands of people there, but this is much more intimate, and it's great because every year we come back with business that is more than pays off whatever expense we had coming here.
Right.
And how did you end up getting this kind of mix here?
Well, so that's always been our goal, and I can't say that there's one particular thing I do or we do that tries to achieve that. It's really a lot of different things. It's everything from like how we price the conference to when we hold it and how long it is, and I have been to a lot of conferences myself, and there are times I've been to conferences and I want to talk to other people who have similar interests, and sometimes it's really hard. You find yourself sitting down at a table with someone, you realize, I'm really not interested in any of these people.
How do I get out of here?
So, one of the things, we don't have a lot of intro type of sessions here. We don't have like how to get into the online games industry.
Correct.
So we don't have a lot of novice type sessions. There are other events that sort of cater to that, and we're happy to have them do their thing. And so most of the sessions here we have are intended for people who have a lot of experience. So I think there's a lot of selection bias in that. By having those kind of sessions, those kind of people show up, and then when people come, they realize that there's a lot of people they want to talk to here. They go back and they're excited, and they talk to other people and say, you should go to this conference, there's a lot of people. So I think there's a feedback loop on that too.
How did you, so this conference is very social, and I don't mean that in the sense of like online social.
Right.
I mean that in the sense of, it's almost like a community here. And how did you do these morning breakfasts? And the morning breakfast is like speed dating for CEOs.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm sure some good jokes could go along with that, but I won't get off topic.
Right.
So how did you guys come up with that idea? Because I think that is one of the best features of this conference.
Each year we sit down and we actually brainstorm at all kinds of ideas. And there are many ideas I have that I think are great that we just actually haven't ever been able to put into practice and see if they bring any fruition. The speed dating breakfast was one we had a year and a half ago. So we had it at our first conference last year. No, actually 2 years before that.
Yeah.
So 2.5 years ago we had the idea, and so the first year we did it, we had some people come up to us and say, "Wow, this made the whole conference worthwhile."
Absolutely.
So we said,
Even
"Okay."
if you paid for your whole ticket and you just went to breakfast every morning, it would pay for itself.
Right, and so and it's tricky with that too, because we have to make sure that like I was saying earlier, we don't want to get the same people all just talking to each other who've already met each other. So we try and bring in new people, and of course, one of the we have a certain level of attendees that we invite to that, and then we also invite all our speakers, because all our speakers are really, sort of VIPs in our
Right.
mind. So.
They're somebody who obviously has some sort of knowledge.
Right.
Has
Yeah,
some
they're
sort
pretty
of,
much all knowledge leaders. So.
Has done something in the industry noteworthy enough to get a speaking position.
Right.
So, and I know you guys don't take just anybody, because I keep getting turned down.
Yeah. So, so we have a. The way we choose our sessions is each year we have an advisory board of about 10 people. They're all great, and they have a lot of wonderful ideas.
I've met a few of them.
And they all come from different areas. We have some people who are programmers, designers, biz people, marketing. So, which is kind of matches up with the kind of mix of attendees we want. So that's why we value their opinion. And we come up with a list of topics that we think are going to be interesting each year, and we post that out. And then what we do is we ask people to submit sessions for those topics. And sometimes we don't get any talks submitted for a topic we really want to hear.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's and then of course we get sessions on topics we didn't ask for. So we have a window, and I think it runs from the end of November to the end of January. So 2 months each year for people to submit their sessions. And then we look at them all as they come in. But after that, we have this really grueling process of looking at all these sessions and trying to figure out which ones we want to take. And we get a lot of submissions. It's like hundreds of sessions being submitted.
Well, I know the quality on it has been really good. That's one thing. I go to a lot of conferences, and I sit in on a session, and I'm like, this is boring, and everything. And there's very few sessions that I've sat in at Login that I'm bored to tears. So it's really a good thing.
Right. And we do have like after everyone goes home, they're going to get an email which is like ask people to evaluate the sessions. So we look at session evaluations as well, and so feedback on previous speakers is also a huge factor. Sometimes we've had some speakers where people said this guy was the greatest thing. Other times people are like, this guy wasn't that great a speaker. So we consider those things. So.
And so on the flip side, for the value for the speaker as well, because this is where all the decision makers are, and as a speaker, you of course get more attention.
Right, and that's
everything. And so it's very valuable to the speaker to actually submit to be here.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely, and as I said, we treat them like they're VIPs because they are really important to us. But we also promote all our speakers, and I think they have tremendous networking opportunities. We have a lot of networking that happens here, but we really make it incredible for the speakers here. They get so much recognition and opportunities.
It's actually incredible for all of us. This conference has the best food.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, we're always well fed at this conference. So snacks, full lunch, the breakfast.
And one of the reasons this kind of goes back to our goal of networking being very important to us, because if we have lunch, a sit-down lunch with our keynotes every day, and one of the reasons we decided to do that is I've been to other conferences, and what happens at lunchtime? Everybody goes off, and they go, they scatter and they go off, and so you're kind of separating everyone. And sometimes people have great meetings during lunch, but it's really hard to find people. Maybe you get lucky and you have some bit of serendipity, and you sit down at the table next to someone who might be interesting. But really, you're kind of forcing everyone away from the event by doing that. And so we really want to kind of bring people together and have as many opportunities for people to network as we can, and that's one of them.
It's all very smart. Yeah. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And Cynthia.
Thank you. Yes.
So you guys put on a great show, and I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
So I'm a Login fanboy. That sounds so strange.
We love them. So.
Well, Peter, thank you very much for your time. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
a great conference, and
of course we'll see you next year.
Yeah, I'm going to be here next year.
Awesome.
No problem. You couldn't keep me away.
Thanks.
Everyone defines our lives, and everything we do we're alive. I know we'll be alright, 'cause we're here.